So I find the easiest way to do this is to first fill in your eyebrows as you normally would, as if you're going out or getting ready for a full face of makeup. So that way, if you don't like the shape of your eyebrows after you're done filling them in, you can always fix it, erase the whole thing, and adjust accordingly. So what I usually do is I never use only one color of eyeshadow to fill in my brows. I always use at least two. And my two go-to colors are always charcoal brown and espresso. And sometimes I throw in a little bit of brown script because it's a lighter, warmer brown tone. So let's start. And I have my palette here. And I'm just gonna dab a little bit into both shadows. This is charcoal brown and this is espresso. And then I will dab onto a tissue just to see if there's a lot of color that comes off or a little bit, and if there's too much, I'll keep dabbing. If there's not enough, then I'll dip in a little bit more. So start with one brow and the inner corner, and I'm using a regular mirror. I'm not using the magnification because sometimes if you're looking too closely, you may not see the entire picture. And I usually start with underneath the brow first, tracing along the natural line of my brows. And there is a trick that you can use, taking a straight edge, and they say wherever your nose lines up with the inner corner of your eye is where your eyebrow should start. So you can see I have a little bit of stray here, and the middle of your iris crossing with the outside edge of your nose is where your arch should be at its highest, which mine is, and the outer edge of your nose and the outer edge of your eye should be where your brow ends, and that is where mine ends. And I'm also using a 288 brush from MAC. It's just natural bristles, angled edge. So I'm just going to continue tracing. And then I'll trace the top. And then connect them. Once I've done that, I'll start filling the entire brow in using short strokes. I'll do the other side. And if you're just shaping them and you're not really going out, you don't really have to be super perfect. And do you see how I kind of deviated from this straight angle right here? All I have to do is get my finger, swipe it across, and the shadow disappears. And since it is kind of hollow right here and sparse, and I don't have a lot of natural hairs, what I'm gonna do is dip my brush into a little bit of carbon, blot a lot, and then kind of just fill it in very lightly and very carefully, because it's really easy to overdo it with such a dark color. And I'll do that on the other side too. So once I've filled my brows in, what I'll then do is, if my hairs are long, or if I want to check if they're too long, I'll take just a regular mascara wand that I got from the MAC store, and you know, they're just laying on the counter, so just grab a few. I'm gonna get some hair gel. I'm using my fiance's Burt's Bees hair gel, and I'll put a bit on that wand. You could also use hairspray if you don't have any. What you should always do when grooming your brows, actually, if you're trying to brush them up to see if your hairs are too long, or even if you just want to finish off your brow, always brush upward. And any long hairs peeking above where you drew your brows in, you want to cut those. I'm just using a regular pair of scissors. And I'll go on the other side. And that way your brows are the perfect length. So next, after I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and pluck any strays above and below. And I know sometimes they say it's a faux pas to pluck above your brows, but that's not true. I definitely always pluck above as well as below. And to avoid any ingrowns, I pluck in the direction of growth. Let's do these strays at the beginning. Definitely start with a clean face too, because you know, when you pluck and you're removing hairs and you're leaving your follicle open, it may just be like the perfect entry point for bacteria. So you definitely don't want any breakouts to arise from plucking your brows. And you can even clean your brows with a little bit of rubbing alcohol before plucking. Let's do the other side. This way, by filling them in first, you know exactly the shape of the brow you want. You have visual and you don't have to guess. You can pluck exactly the right amount of strays. and you have more or less a changing basis, because sometimes, as we all know, brows have their trends. Sometimes, depending on the season, they're thicker or, you know, thinner. And this way you're not confined to any one shape. You can change it by filling in your brows differently each time. So we'll give it a quick wipe. And there you have it.